Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Take a Break Gaming Podcast. This is episode 2, I believe. I'm joined with Trevor and Jason, and we're just going to be talking about some gaming stuff today. But before we do, real quick, you guys, what have we all been playing lately? Let's start with Trevor.
Let's see, I've been playing a little bit of, not exactly original Fire Emblem, I think it's called Blazing Blade, but the original one that came to the US.
Really? How is it?
Cool. It's hard.
Cool. Anything else?
It's actually really cool. I've never played a Fire Emblem game before.
Neither have I.
Yeah, it's what's it called? It's not like in the beginning, first 10 to 12 parts. It's like, oh yeah, this is easy as shit. And then I get to this part, I'm like, I lost 5 different characters. Oh shit! And then it does this thing where it does, if you want to resume chapter in case your main character dies, it literally resumes exactly to the point where they die, and you just see him die over and over.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's like, why do you even give me this option?
So wait,
instead of doing it the turn right before?
So wait, is it like when your characters die in the game, they're just dead for real? Like you can't continue the game?
There's only their main characters. There's 3 main characters. If any of those 3 die, then you lose the game.
It's not like they'll respawn; they're just dead for good.
No, it's just then the game. You have to if those 3 characters die, you have to restart the chapter.
Oh,
but
fuck
anyone
that.
else that dies, they're gone.
Okay,
they're dead.
Oh wow!
I didn't realize Fire Emblem had permadeath.
Yes,
that's crazy. Have you been playing anything else you want to mention or no?
Assassin's Creed 4.
Really? You went back to 4?
Yeah.
That's honestly the best one, man. I'm sorry.
Assassin's Creed 4 is really good.
That's like my favorite out of all of them.
Really
yeah,
good.
That's cool though, man. Any others? Or
The thing that sucks though is I think Ubisoft, at least for right now, the the fleet part in Assassin's Creed 4 is not working at all. So I think they maybe took down the servers for that.
Oh man, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Oh well. I mean, you gotta think about that game came out in 2013,
I think.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time. But yeah, Jason, have you been playing anything?
I have been playing My Hero One's Justice, the anime nerd I am.
How is it?
It's fun. It's really interesting to me because it's weird because watching gameplay for the game doesn't make it seem interesting.
Yeah.
But playing it is completely different, and it's really fun to play. I see a lot of games that are both fun to watch and play, but I feel like My Hero One's Justice is really fun to play, but not really to watch. But once you do play, it's really fun, and despite there being a pretty small roster, every character feels very unique, which makes it very interesting.
Yeah, I want to just throw in my 2 cents on that game, because I actually played it for the first time with you, Jason, and I gotta be honest, it's fun, it's just, I don't like the fact that when you attack or when you do an air dash, it automatically goes towards the opponent. It doesn't give you the freedom to dash away from them in case to dodge an attack. Yeah. But also in terms of how it feels, what bothers me is the characters feel really floaty. They feel like they're more like balloons rather than heavy weight people, And like I said, the game is fun, but I feel like because of just how it feels, and to me, if I was to rate it, I'd give it a 7 out of 10, to be honest. It's fun, I just don't... I think it could be better,
For me, I feel like maybe the way that the difference between characters skill-wise is way too drastic. For example, I was playing as Todoroki, and I was fucking wrecking shit. I'm just I literally just learning how to play as I'm...
Yeah, no, Todoroki is actually a really busted character.
Yeah, Todoroki is really good.
Yeah.
He's a lot of fun to play as, too. I really like his moveset.
Oh, definitely.
But I prefer to play as Inasa.
The guy that hates Todoroki.
Yeah, it's funny how that is. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
But Inasa's a lot of fun to play as. You can just hover on wind gusts and then send tornadoes and cyclones out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Forward cyclones, and not there are tornadoes that travel across the ground, and then there are cyclones that funnel outward towards your opponent that you can push them back with or pull them in with.
That's really cool, yeah.
And it's really fun to play. I feel like whenever you play as Inasa, it feels like you're playing as a boss in a video game.
Yeah, it kind of is,
his moveset isn't like a lot of characters. It's almost obviously this melee attack, but his specials are all purely range, and the fact that you can use them while just kind of hovering, however high off the ground you want, makes it really feel like you're fighting a boss.
Yeah, definitely.
Or you're playing as a boss.
That too.
Yeah.
So what have you been playing, Don?
Lately I have been playing a lot of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. I actually finished Birth by Sleep, so I'm glad I got that done.
Oh, you did? Nice.
Yeah, now I just have to do Dream Drop Distance and the Dark Passage, I think, and that's all that's left. And other than that, I've been playing a lot of Smash Bros. With these guys, and actually, as of the recording of this podcast, Trevor and I just started Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. And that was actually a lot more fun than I thought it would be, and there's going to be a video of that soon, so keep an eye out for that, guys. But yeah, other than that, I actually tried out Dead Cells recently, and I fucking love that game. It's really addicting. For those of you watching that don't know what Dead Cells is, it's basically a roguelike side-scroller. So, you know, the idea of roguelike and all that, you go in, do a run, you die, you start back at the very beginning. But it's cool because it basically has like a loot system, like enemies will drop loot, or you can get like blueprints for a loot, for an item to get later. And it's really cool. It's also really frustrating when you die because you're like, man, I got all these cool weapons and these blueprints and these powers, and then I lose them all. yeah. It's like losing in that game is so frustrating, but it's so addicting. You just want to keep going. Yeah, and other than that, I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2. I just recently got my Ace of Spades, which is an amazing hand cannon.
Oh, you got that?
Yeah, I sent a picture to our group chat. How did you not see that?
Smooth segue.
Yeah.
Smooth segue into today's topic.
Yeah, no, we're our topic for the video, if you didn't read the title, is going to be something relating to Destiny. But I just want to quickly mention the Ace of Spades. I know it's a gun that everyone fucking has because it's like you get it for beating the Forsaken campaign that's been out for a while, but I just got mine and I love it. And this is coming from a guy that is terrible with hand cannons. I love that gun. But anyway, yeah, like Jason said, we're gonna get into the topic of this video, which is the divorce between Activision and Bungie. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, basically Bungie, the creators and developers of Destiny and Destiny 2, were partnered with Activision, and now they have split, and Bungie has the publishing rights to Destiny. So everything regarding Destiny is in their complete control. So we're going to kind of talk about that. We're going to go into, again, this whole conversation is completely opinion-based on what we think they could do in the future in terms of where could they go with the game, and where could they go in terms of how they sell the game and monetize it. Because, you know, they have publishing rights, and obviously they're still the developers. So everything regarding Destiny is in their control. And to give you guys some background to us as players of Destiny, I am fucking addicted to this game. I love it, and I play it all the time, but I know it is a flawed game, and it has some history. It has a history of just coming out and not being great, and then like several expansions later being good, and then repeating that when the sequel came out, but yeah.
Or being worse than having Destiny 2 be worse than Destiny 1, even though...
No, okay,
it's a sequel.
okay. I will, here's the thing. I will, are you saying Destiny 1 with its expansions or before?
With its expansions.
Okay, because I was going to say, if you're talking vanilla Destiny 1, I will, in my opinion, I think vanilla Destiny 2 is better than vanilla Destiny 1. But if you're talking, like, Destiny 1 with all the expansions up to Rise of Iron, compared to Destiny 2 when it came out, yeah, Destiny 1's better. I will honestly say, in my opinion, Destiny 1 when it came out felt like it could have just been a big expansion to Destiny 1. Wait.
Destiny 2?
Yeah, that. When Destiny 2 came out, god damn it, I felt like it could have been an expansion to Destiny 1. But, getting off that, like I said, I'm someone who loves this game. Trevor is... I don't want to say you're a casual fan of Destiny, because I feel like that's the wrong term, but I will say you are very critical of the game.
Yes.
In all fairness, because the game... We shouldn't give a game, not just Destiny, we shouldn't give any creator or game slack for coming out in a poor state, because then they're going to think like, hey, we can get away with this. But I try to give Bungie credit where credit is due. That's my thing. Trevor is very critical of it as well.
Yeah, I'm a very critical person when it comes to video games.
Yeah, he is.
There's very few exceptions.
Yeah, and
Smash is good.
Yeah, and I will honestly say, no offense, Trevor, but I feel like you can be a little too critical. Like, not in a bad way. I just feel like when you criticize something, you kind of, in a way, you keep bringing it up when they fixed it. You know what I mean? That's just me, though.
I know people who are really critical.
Yeah, and Jason has never played the damn game, so this is like a new conversation for him. Yeah, but anyway, let's just get into this. So, how should we start this? I guess with the big thing we could start with, just the big one, how are they going to sell the game? Like, and when I say sell it, I mean, what can they do in terms of monetizing? Because for those of you who don't know, what Destiny would do is they would come out with a full $60 game and be like, hey, here's a $20 expansion. Here's another $20 expansion. And now here is a $40
$40
$40 expansion. And the $41 expansions, the $40 expansions are the big ones, and now they're doing this thing called the annual pass, which is where, hey, you pay $30, you get 3 different expansions that come out throughout the course of the year. Yeah. What's up, Drew?
The $40 expansions are basically kind of like a substitute for the next game.
Yeah.
So they would do either, basically what they did was they did 2 expansions. There was the original vanilla game for Destiny 1, then Taken King the next year in September, and then a Rise of Iron next year in September again, then Destiny 2, then Forsaken next year.
So, basically. Yeah. And Destiny 2 now is in a much better state compared to when it came out. I definitely think they could add more to the game. I think there's a lot they can do to improve it still, because the game isn't perfect, but if it's 100 times better, in my opinion.
Trevor has a strong look of disagreement on his face.
Hey, Trevor, buddy. Hey, you want to know something, Trevor? You didn't play Destiny 2 when it came out.
No, I'm definitely saying it's better.
Yeah.
But it's
Destiny 2. Is that good enough, though?
Well, okay. So, getting into what they could start doing differently, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but I honestly don't think we need any more story campaigns. I just feel like with the type of game Destiny is, I would rather them focus on activities and endgame content rather than a story campaign. Because the big problem with Destiny 1 or Destiny 2 when it came out for me was when you had to play through the whole story to just level up and actually get to the good stuff. You know, Destiny 2 is Destiny as a whole is a grindy game. I just feel like a story campaign, in my opinion, kind of takes away from that, you know? What do you...
That's where I disagree, because I feel like there's so many points wherever I see something that it could be done, and I'm just like, why didn't you do that? For example, Jason, there was this one story thing where in Destiny, one of the Destiny 2 expansions, I think it's called Warmind.
Yeah, that's the second one.
I remember that lady who she actually finds out what who her past self was.
Yeah.
Because Guardians, whenever they die and they get revived back to life, they have no memory of who they used to be.
Right. Basically, the Traveler sends a ghost, which is like your little robot partner, and brings you back to life, and you basically are revived as a new person. Guardians, which is what you play as, are essentially like zombies in a way, if you think about it.
And the thing is, this person finds out who they used to be, and starts the expansion, but they just use it. It's just like a one-off thing, and I'm just like, why don't they experiment with this? Like the idea of these people, finding themselves, why they're not supposed to.
Well,
no, just a write-off.
The thing is,
it bothered me so much.
I don't know they do, but they could possibly do that in the lore. Destiny is another one.
What? It needs to be in the game, Dylan.
Destiny, the lore is in the game. You have to find the lore tabs. You have to unlock them, and they'll.
It should be a part of the story, Dylan.
I don't know.
I feel like
it technically is. You just gotta look it up.
There's not too many games that really get away with not having much of a story, but having the story be revealed through things in the environment and things you find rather than just actually being a part of the game.
Literally,
I think Dark Souls is the biggest example.
Yeah,
of that.
Destiny.
Because Dark Souls, I don't play Dark Souls, but as far as I've heard, there's not much of a story to it, but through everything you find within the environment, it explains this very, very in-depth lore.
No, there's definitely a story and like a whole lore to Destiny, and I've been really interested in looking it up.
You have to pay an extra $20 for it.
I thought of another thing. Remember the stranger? Remember the stranger?
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened to her?
Dude, the stranger and like the darkness, they completely written that off in Destiny 2.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're gonna bring that back or whatnot. Like that was one. Yeah, when Destiny 2 came out, there was a lot of problems in terms of consistency. Like a lot of stuff just getting mentioned. Like you remember how in Destiny 1 we became Iron Lords?
Yeah.
When you start Destiny 2 and you're going through this beginning of the story and Shaq sees you for the first time, he goes, Saladin's young wolf. But then when you meet Lord Saladin, he like talks to you like he's never met you, and I'm like, aren't we Iron Lords? What the fuck? So yeah,
I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Basically, the writing.
Why am I here again?
There's a lot of inconsistency when it comes to Destiny's writing, and I think honestly that's something Bungie writing team needs to look at.
You're here to be our mediator because we are obviously on opposing sides of this
argument. But one thing I want to give Bungie credit for, just going on to a different topic, is that Bungie does listen to their community. When Forsaken came out, they added everything that we've been complaining about that wasn't in Destiny 2. Random rolls came back. Exotics felt good. We got a new subclass.
Trevor's face seriously says how bad he wants to argue with you right now.
Look, I think I know what you're about to say, but let me say this. Yes, they could have fucking kept this in the beginning of Destiny 2. But they decided...
No, it wasn't at all what I was going to say.
When Destiny 2 came out, they fucking basically went with, like, let's make this game... They basically made the game more casual. And now they made it more hardcore, and I like that. But, no, when they have been listening to their community, and they've been implementing things in the game that we have wanted, and that's good. That I give them credit for. I think the fact that they do listen to their community is good for us. Because now that they have complete control, they can definitely work more. They can definitely satisfy their player base more. What do you want to say, Trevor?
All right, so there's one thing they could have added that people were asking about. For example, remember shaders?
No. Yeah.
They could have changed the shaders back. But I understand...
What do you mean change it back?
To how Destiny 1 was. Remember?
I never mess with the shaders in Destiny 1. I honestly don't give a shit about shaders. I don't even use them in Destiny 2.
A lot of people do.
I know. I know. Just I personally didn't care about them. So
what I'm saying is, I understand now. At the time, they could have not done anything because Activision, they were under Activision's thumb.
Well, yeah, but like, what is it that they? What is it you mean? Like, what were they like in Destiny 1?
You could just literally you get a shader and you could put it on all of your armor. Here, they're one-offs.
Oh, you mean like I had to put them on one on each item?
And as well as their time, once you use them, they're gone. And the way to get them is from bright engrams, aka either leveling up enough to get a random roll, via a loot box, or paying real money.
Okay.
That sounds
awful.
Yeah.
My point though is, I understand at the time.
Yeah.
There's Bungie probably didn't have as much say, but if they keep it in. This game, if it's too into the code, maybe I understand. I would give them a little slack if they decided if they made a Destiny 3 and it was back to normal. Okay, good. But if it's like this and they keep it in and they say we can't, if they don't give an explanation for not getting rid of it, A, and B, especially if they make another Destiny and it's the same as they do in Destiny 2, they can fuck right off.
Yeah,
you're looking really bold now, Trevor. You're leaning in towards Dylan while you're fighting all of his points.
Well, so the shader thing...
That is one of the biggest things, because Destiny is about making yourself look badass and feel badass.
Yeah, okay, but like I said, I never cared about shaders, so that argument doesn't really go with what I was saying.
What?
But what I want to get on... What?
Your argument was they did everything that people wanted, and I
said
that
people since Destiny 2 came out, myself included, were saying like, "Hey, we need random rolls back. We need armor to matter and have."
Let me just move this stuff over.
I'm not saying that they didn't do anything. I'm saying they didn't do everything.
I think they did a lot, though, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, they did.
But okay, but two things I want to touch on that you just mentioned. One, I don't know if they will, because what I'm about to say they may do, they may not do. I don't think they're going to take the Eververse shop out, but I hope they make it more economy friendly to where it's not like, I would say right now, in terms of how the game used to be, it's not as in your face as it used to be. I feel like the Eververse is something you can honestly touch on without having to spend money. And the thing is, like, I don't think they're going to take it out, because at the end of the day, they need to make money. Especially now that they're... Especially now
I didn't know you couldn't make money off $40 expansion packs.
No, an annual pass.
No, you're right.
$60 on its own.
No, you're absolutely right. But Trevor, you got to realize no one ever wakes up and say, "I want to make less money." So if they're making, money from the Eververse shop,
not wrong.
Yeah, if they're making a profit off the Eververse shop, I don't think they're going to take it out. But
wow, that's actually a really good point.
Thank you. But if they make it worse to where it annoys the players, they're going to lose their player base, which means they're going to lose money. So I don't, like, in my opinion, the Eververse shop isn't as bad as it used to be. I definitely think if they wanted to, they could tone it down, but I don't see them taking it out of the game. But kind of just touching. What were you gonna say, Trevor?
Honestly, in Destiny 1, it was perfectly fine with me.
Okay, how about this? I just thought of this. I think what they should do is
if they turn it back to that, I will be like, fine.
I think what they should do that would make it fair for everyone is if you're gonna buy like an ornament. Like honestly, I love some of the ornaments you can get in there, and there's like a fucking a sparrow. If you don't know what a sparrow is, Jason, it's basically like a hover bike you can use to ride around the world. There's one that looks like fucking Ghost Rider's bike, and I want that.
Damn, that's
but
cool.
I would honestly say,
to random rolls though.
Let me touch on that. I was gonna say I think what they could do to make Eververse better is two things. One, take out the loot boxes, make it just, hey, you want this, here it is. Like you can actually it's something you can actually pick and buy. And two, make the in-game currency, which I think it's called silver, right? Make it possible to earn that by playing the game. Like for example, Hearthstone. Big difference. Hearthstone is a free-to-play game, but you can either buy packs with the real.
Does it better than the game that's worth $60? Sorry, that was a bit shady.
You sure today's topic was a good idea?
I don't know what I'm more pissed about, the fact that you were shitting on this or the fact that you just interrupted me again.
My apologies, Dylan.
I think the correct answer is both.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I knew what I was getting myself into. It's just, this is what I mean.
That's what I was gonna say.
Trevor, I feel like he shits on this game too much.
That's what I was about to say. I don't know if we picked a good idea for a topic, because trust me, Dylan, I know how you feel. I will argue, have debates with people about things that I absolutely love, and regardless of all the positive points I make, and with legitimate counter-arguments to anything they say, the people don't come at me with actual points, they just come at me with a ton of negativity, and I lose interest in the debate.
So look, I don't lose interest in debate. I just really want to drop kick him in the head.
Dude, I know, it's frustrating. I know. I'm starting to think this is a bad idea for a topic.
No, hold on.
I can feel you guys' frustration.
What?
I'm not saying, with this game, I feel like they have massively improved it.
Thank you.
I bought it. After they did the improvements, and after I was saw reviews saying, okay, Forsaken's good, and I played it. It's fun. There's a lot of stuff. For example, Gambit is one of my favorite things I've played.
Oh, Gambit's amazing. It does have its problems, but it is still amazing.
And the fact they made it a permanent thing, that's awesome.
Yes.
As well as, the gunplay still feels just as good.
Yeah, the gunplay they have nailed perfectly. They don't need to change any of that.
But the reason I'm so critical is because I know they can do better.
You're right. You're definitely right.
I'm not
They
saying
can do
it's
better.
A terrible game. I think it's a good game. I just want it to be great.
I think for me, because it's better than when it came out. Okay, put it this way: if you had asked me what would I have rated Destiny 2 when it came out, I would have probably told you a 5. If you ask me now with Forsaken, and all the other expansions, because when Forsaken came out, you can buy the whole game with the previous one for $60. So it's literally the same price when the game came out. I would have given it that a 8 out of 10, in my opinion. It's not a 10 out of 10. It's not amazing, but it's definitely better. Getting back on my point I was making, Hearthstone is a free-to-play game. But you can earn currency by playing, or you can buy packs with real money. The one thing I will say, though, is, one, buying the packs is definitely faster, and you can get more that way. Also, in Hearthstone, I completely forgot about when you log in every day, you get quests to play, and you get gold from that, and that's how you get the in-game currency. I think Destiny for the Eververse shop should do something like that. You either get a daily quest that you can complete to earn silver to get more stuff, or you can, and they can do that, and they can also make it to where hey, you did this, here's some silver. But the one counter to that they could probably do, because like I said, if they do that, then more people are going to do that. And if they can do it enough to where they don't have to spend money, then that means Bungie's going to lose money. So they're definitely going to do it in a way where their people will still be kind of incentivized spending the real money, because that's kind of what Hearthstone is. You can play that game for hours, but honestly, just dropping $20 for a few packs is faster than playing the game. So I would still rather Bungie do something like that for the Eververse shop, just because it gives me the option to work towards a cool new sparrow or an ornament and all that, But yeah, that's something I just want to mention. Oh, and I remember something else I want to say earlier. You mentioned Destiny 3 earlier, right, Trevor?
Yes.
They are already in development of that. But, in my honest opinion, and I have a reason why they should do this, and I have a reason why they're probably not going to do this. The reason, I think Destiny shouldn't be a series of games. I think Destiny should just be Destiny. Just one big
MMO.
That sounds like it makes a lot of sense.
Yes,
actually.
But here's the thing. Destiny is considered an MMO light. It has MMO elements, but it isn't full-on MMO. a lot of people don't want it to be a full-on MMO, but I kind of do. I think that would really bring the game out. But the reason I think they're not going to do that is because, like I said, they already started making Destiny 3. So people are going to be pissed that they're just like, hey, yeah, no, you don't need to do this anymore, fuck it.
There's a game I feel that way about, too.
What's that?
It's switching topics to another game.
Yep.
Do you want me to carry on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because it's 2 years old, everybody is really fiending for a new Dragonball Xenoverse from what I've seen, and a lot of people want a Xenoverse 3, but I've never grinded more in my life in any game than I have in Xenoverse 2, and I really don't want to start over. I just really want them to expand on what they have, which is already what they're doing. They're still releasing DLC.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah, dude. Broly and Super Blue Vegeta came out. They recently.
Wait,
yeah.
Blue Broly?
Yeah,
but
Blue Vegeta and Broly from the new movie. So yeah, they're still they're kind of doing already what I want, but like people are getting tired of it, which is unfortunate. Not for a lot of people. It's really just unfortunate for me and like whoever else who's the same way. But I just really want them to just keep Actually, now that you think about the same concept kind of applies. I feel like it's Xenoverse. Why don't they just make like an online game out of it and keep it kind of like what it already is, just expand on it and offer new things.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, is what they're doing with like characters and DLC and stuff. But there's not a lot of expansion to the actual content offered in the game.
Yeah, I want to just quickly ask Trevor: isn't there a Dragon Ball MMO already? It's not the same thing as Xenoverse, but I think there is one that exists.
But I think it's only Japanese.
If you're talking about Dragon Ball Online, I
Yeah.
think that's actually Korean only. And if you're talking about Dragon Ball Heroes, that's an arcade game, and that is Japanese exclusive.
Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You make a good point. Xenoverse as like an ongoing game, like a service game like Fortnite is kind of would be awesome.
I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
There is actually a good idea though to make a new game, is because that kind of doesn't alienate the people that still like that game if they want to totally change up how it plays.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
So let's say, for example, an MMO that actually did totally change up how it plays. Do you guys remember World of Warcraft?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know if you remember this, but they made a server that was just how it was, basically whenever the first
Vanilla Warcraft.
Yeah, Vanilla Warcraft. And people were playing the shit out of that because they're like, oh my gosh, we get to play old World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
because it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, no, they did announce they're bringing it back. They're going to bring back remastered Vanilla WoW.
Yeah, but the point is, though, is that if you do it the way you want to, the people who like the game how it originally was, the game doesn't exist for them anymore.
Yeah, that is a really good point.
That is a good point.
But like I was saying, actually, you bring up World of Warcraft is perfect.
Hey.
What?
Sam, we were talking about Dragon Ball a minute ago.
Oh my god. we need to get back to Destiny. Trevor, you mentioning World of Warcraft is actually a really good segue to something I want to bring up, because I was thinking about this. Now, this probably wouldn't work, but I was thinking, what if Destiny was a subscription-based game, like World of Warcraft? Because World of Warcraft, you gotta pay a month to pay. I don't think I think with Destiny it wouldn't work well because people had already paid $60 for that game.
Yeah, with also the microtransactions, just people would be like, fuck this.
Yeah,
there was actually something I did want to say, though. If they do Destiny 3, there was something I really wanted to see.
What's that?
Was the separation between the power... You know how in Destiny, whenever they tweak a gun, it tweaks it for both PvP and PvE?
Yeah.
I really wish they would make it so that it...
Yeah, you actually bring up a good point I want to mention, because I had an idea for that, that I thought of when I was looking into Anthem, which I'll get on that. But before, Jason, did you want to finish your point about Dragon Ball and all that?
I kind of do, but also, like I said, it's very tangential to what the subject of this podcast is, so it can probably wait.
Yeah, I mean, I figured since we're only on it, go ahead and just finish it before we forget, and we'll get back to what we're talking about.
All right, I was gonna say a lot of what's in Xenoverse stems from the Japanese arcade game I was telling you about, Dragon Ball Heroes. And that's pretty much where all of the modern what if stuff in the Dragon Ball universe comes from. It all stems back to that arcade game.
Yeah.
And there's multiple universes within it. The Xenoverse universe is there too. And there's an adult Gotenks. I have no idea how old he is, but fully grown adult, and it's actually really cool to see.
That's cool.
Especially with this, he still has Super Saiyan 3 and all that. And
yeah.
There's a ton of stuff like that. The Heroes series has not really Heroes series, but Heroes Universe. I think it's a single arcade game. Mm-hmm. It has a ton of what if content, a ton of characters original to that game's story. And that's where most of the characters from Xenoverse actually come from. They weren't introduced in Xenoverse.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
The Supreme Kai of Time, I think Demigod was in in Heroes. Like,
Yeah.
most, like, it's crazy. Also, there's a Super Saiyan 3 Raditz, and you know how his hair is already really long?
Yeah, does
his hair goes way past his feet and drags behind him.
That's awesome.
I'll show you a picture later. There's actually a Super Saiyan 3 Raditz in the Heroes
That's
universe.
fucking cool.
There's a ton of exaggerated, like, ridiculous stuff in that universe. It's awesome.
If Nappa goes Super Saiyan, does his hair just grow out of his head?
I think there's actually a Super Saiyan Nappa, and it's just Nappa.
Oh my god, his mustache!
No, that's an actual thing. I think there's a Super Saiyan Nappa, and it's just Nappa with a gold mustache in the Heroes universe.
Fuck, okay.
There's a lot of joke stuff like that.
That's actually kind of cool. But getting off that, back onto Destiny. So, you were talking about, Trevor, you want them to kind of separate the stats or abilities for PvE and PvP, right?
Yeah.
So, here's the thing. When Destiny 2 came out, the weapon slot system wasn't how it is now. Destiny has 3 weapon slots. It's basically your primary, your kinetic, energy, and heavy. And when it came out, the first 2 slots were you can either have a pulse rifle, an auto rifle, or a hand cannon, and I think scout rifle is another one. Heavy slots, which is your third, would be shotguns and sniper rifles, along with rocket launchers and grenade launchers, all that.
When did they add swords?
Destiny 1.
You're talking about Destiny 1 now. I thought you were
No, I've been talking about Destiny 2. But
yeah.
no, you're right. Swords were in the heavy slot, and they still are in the heavy slot. And the reason that this was a bad thing, because it made gameplay boring. Like, in Crucible, which is the PvP mode, for those of you who have never played Destiny, it felt very... it felt boring because, there was no need to use a shotgun. Like, hey... why would I use a rocket launcher or a grenade launcher that can explode and kill a ton of enemies over a gun that can just kill someone up close? But now that they fixed that, now you can have a shotgun in your first and second slot and a sniper rifle and all that. It gives the player more freedom to experiment with different weapon types, but also it changes how you play in PvP.
Does that mean I can have 3 shotguns?
You can, yeah. If you have a heavy shotgun and 2 shotguns in your second and first slot, you can. You can also do triple grenade launcher. I'm not kidding. That is the thing. But, like I said, they basically changed the weapon slot so where you could play like how it was in Destiny 2 or Destiny 1, which I'm glad about. But getting back to my idea I had was I thought of this when I was looking into like info on Anthem when that got announced. The developers of Anthem tweeted a while ago that game will not have PvP at launch, so it might come in later. But that's a good thing because another game like that's similar is Borderlands. That's another looter shooter. They don't have PvP in that game. So they are allowed to get as crazy as they want with the guns. But because Destiny has a PvP mode, they have to sometimes balance it out to where it's fair for people playing against it. Like, a lot of people want guns nerfed, and then they do get nerfed, and people... it ends up making the gun not really that good as it used to be. And then, like, something better will come along and be like, hey, nerf this. And I'm like, can I just use my fucking gun? Like, shit. What did you want to say, Jason?
Something that, like, this is, once again, coming from someone who doesn't play Destiny, so I don't know how well it would be implemented or how well it actually even fit into the gameplay. But they do something like that in Dragonball Xenoverse 2, which I think would be a cool mechanic to transfer over. You have the option when you go into PvP matches in Xenoverse whether or not you want to fight against people with all of your individual stats equipped to make it like everything unique to your character, or with everything balanced between the both of you.
That's interesting.
So like basically have it be, you know how they do in Iron Banner, they do it where it's like enabled the differences.
Yeah, the level differences.
Yeah, basically they would be like, yeah, you're gonna play with it, like this is PvE with the guns being all crazy as shit.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that's actually a good idea, but this is the idea I was gonna say because I thought about this for Anthem, and I think this could be what's the word? Implemented. Thank you. Into Destiny. So, and this is idea from Yu-Gi-Oh. Now, hear me out. I used to be a big card game nerd, but Yu-Gi-Oh has this cool thing.
It's true.
Okay, I might still be into Magic, but whatever. Magic the Gathering, to be clear. Not a magician, guys, but
I'm actually glad that you specified that, because I don't know if there'd be... It's
Fun
hard for me
fact!
to tell if a lot of people would actually know what you're talking about.
Want to just mention, when I was in like 5th grade, I went through a magician phase. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, that's great.
Don't know why I share that, but in Yu-Gi-Oh, when you go to a tournament, they would have a ban list, which is a list of cards you cannot use in the tournament. There'd be cards like, hey, you can't use this at all. this card you can only have one copy, this card you can only have two. I think with Destiny and for Anthem, because when I was looking at Anthem, this is when I got this idea. I think they could implement something similar to that, where like you get this really cool exotic gun, which Jason, if you don't know, exotic weapons are like the rarest weapons. You get an exotic gun and you use it in PvE in like a strike or a raid, and it is the most overpowered thing ever, and it feels great. But it'd be too overpowered PvP. They could implement a system where like, hey, you try to log into Crucible and you're like, hey, you have this gun, you can't use it, pick something else. And that can be good for two things. One, it can help them split it so there's that overpowered fun for PvE and it's balanced for PvP. But also they can make weapons for Crucible that are not, I don't want to say overpowered for Crucible, but they could definitely make stronger, better weapons in Crucible that you can earn by playing Crucible. That way there's more of an incentive to play Crucible. Because they do something kind of like that where like you can play quests and all that to get weapons, but I definitely think them doing some sort of like ban list style of mechanic will help them separate the overpowered weapons from Crucible, and they can also still make weapons that could be in Crucible that are strong for Crucible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also remember you telling me something that you thought that would be good since they don't have to do the yearly thing.
What do you mean yearly thing?
Remember how every year they had to release either a new game or a big expansion?
Yeah, because of Activision.
Yeah, so I remember you telling me something about seasons.
Right. So, getting back, I mentioned Fortnite earlier. Fortnite is basically, I think the term is a service game, where the game is free to play. Well, okay, to be more specific, the Battle Royale mode is free to play, but that's not
everyone cares about.
Yeah. But the way it works is like, because I believe the game is still early access, and the reason it's early access is because Fortnite will do these things called seasons, where like they will add a lot of new features to the game. Like, for example, I think we're in season 7 right now, and they added fucking hell airplanes to a Battle Royale game. Yeah, that was like the big thing. Destiny, I think, could do something really similar to that, but here's the problem, Trevor. One, Destiny isn't free like Fortnite was. And two, even because the game is free, they still make all their profits off the microtransactions. And there's no, like, to my knowledge, there's no earning the currency. It's just buy it with money. Buy skins with money.
No, actually, I think if you do certain challenges, you can earn currency to buy skins.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that's my bad. But yeah, no, Destiny could do something like that, where like every like season they will add a brand new. They really will improve on the game and add more stuff. It's just I think because it's not free, it wouldn't work. You know what I mean?
No, I think it would actually it would be a good idea to do that, because that would, you know how Destiny, they have players like me, I'll be honest, that kind of leave after they get done with the next expansion. They don't really come back until they play till the next big one comes out.
Yeah,
that would be a good incentive for players who kind of leave. They'd be like, hey, a new season's starting. Yeah, I'll see what they added new.
They could do that. Yeah, I also thought of another thing they could do, which is actually what Monster Hunter World does. So what Monster Hunter World does is, the game came out. It was $60, and I'm gonna say this as a fan of Destiny. I'm sorry, but I gotta be honest. A big difference was when Monster Hunter World came out. It was actually good when it came out. No offense to Destiny 2, but I gotta be honest. When it came out, it kind of sucked. But when Monster Hunter World came out, you play the game, you play through the campaign, and then the end game is, hey, go kill monsters, get more weapons and now armor, right? What they did after that was, I don't remember how often it was, but every few months they would add a new monster, which was a free update. And it was only one monster, but the thing with Monster Hunter World and the way it works is you have to kill the monster to get its parts, to get weapons, and get a full armor set. So one monster could equal hours of playing, because you can be like, hey, this thing gives you a cool new great sword, or a hammer, or a long sword, or a charge blade, or a bow. I want all of them, so I gotta kill this motherfucker multiple times. And if I want the full armor set, I gotta kill him multiple times. So, like I said, but now what they're doing,
sounds so grindy.
But what they announced recently is their expansion, Iceborne, which is a paid expansion. But the reason it's paid is because there's a lot to it. There's a brand new area coming to the game, like a new location and map which is obviously gonna have new monsters that I don't think they revealed any new monsters yet. But they're also adding a new difficulty level that I don't think it's what it's called in World, but in the previous game it was called G rank, which is basically you fight the same monsters on a higher difficulty. They have new moves that they didn't have before, and the armor and weapons you get are different. Like in terms of how they look, they're different.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So this is a paid expansion, but I was thinking what Destiny could do is something similar to that, where they give you smaller expansions for free, and then the big ones you pay for. Because like I said, they still gotta make money. So, excuse me. They still have to make money, and so I don't think they're gonna go completely like, hey, no, this is a free update or whatever. But I definitely think what they could do is they could give you something small for free, and then have like a big expansion that you pay for. Because I honestly feel like, in my opinion, if it's something like a raid, that is a big amount of content. I feel like that needs to be in a paid expansion. If it's and a full-on raid too, and all of those fucking raid lair things they had. If it's like a new location, and I mean like a new planet, not like an add-on to an already existing location, I think that could be something you pay for. But something like what we have in Black Armory, the forges, which are basically just a horde mode type thing, I honestly think that could have been a free update. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're fun, and I like the idea of it, and I like the idea of it is that you play a forge to basically build your guns, and you can get exotics from it. But I think that kind of activity could have been free, in my opinion. So, there's a lot of things Bungie could do with this game and how they sell it. It's just, I just hope they do it in a way that is fair for their consumers and will help the game immensely, you know? Mm-hmm. That's just me. Mm-hmm. Do you guys have anything you want to add?
I thought you were also going to go on about the armor thing, like you'd have to fight the same thing multiple times.
Well, in a way, in Destiny, you already do, in a way. Because, like, for example, each raid has one exotic you get. Okay, an example, in, what's the raid that came in for second? I think it's called the Last Wish or whatever. I think that's the name. But in that raid, you had to play through the whole thing. It's multiple bosses, it's a long fucking raid, and at the very end, you open a chest. And you only get to do it once every time you play the raid. And in that chest, you have a chance to get that one exotic. So it's like, okay, you get it, here you go. You don't get it, all right, you play it again and hope you're lucky. Which,
oh god.
And they had the same thing in the Scorches of the Past, which is a raid that came in Black Armory, and they had the same thing in Leviathan, which came in when the game came out. But, like I said though, Destiny 2 is a grinded game, and that's kind of the point of it. I will argue, I think there should be more than one exotic per raid. I think at least 3 would be good. But the other thing is, that helps is that the weapons that, other than the exotic, the weapons you get do have random rolls. So it's like, man, this hand cannon I got for the raid is awesome, but I don't like its rolls. Let's play it again. But that's the other thing, if the raid's fun and you want to keep playing it, then it's not as much of a chore to get that roll on a gun you hope for. But if the raid sucks, and that's another big issue. But what were you gonna say?
Isn't it possible in Destiny to re-roll a gun?
No, you have to just hope you get drops the roll you want.
That was the thing that you can put into it.
I don't know, but I actually would like that. I would like a way for there to be like, hey, you have this gun, you don't like the roll here, try to re-roll it and hope it's lucky. But I honestly think it should be randomly generated, because I feel like implementing that in the game in a way will take away from the grind. And that's not what I want, because I want the game to remain grindy, because when Destiny 2 came out, it didn't feel grindy and I hated it. But now that it's out, I feel like I have something to work for, something to do, and that's what I want to stay in the game. But yeah, I know, were you going to say something earlier, Trevor?
But anyway, I was worried about them adding, oh, hey, you have to get this, the building up. I thought the idea would be oh, hey, you want this headset, you need to get these pieces. And it was let's just say before you...
I think it's like that in Monster Hunter, though.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. If it's like that in Destiny, but that would be terrible, though, because they could be or you could just be able to get all but one piece, buy it all, and then I'm saying, in the Eververse. Yeah, no. Well,
this is another thing we forgot to mention. Now that Activision's out of the way, their monetizing thing is in Bungie's control. So if it gets worse, we know who to blame now.
Exactly. That's what I'm really looking forward to seeing.
Something I should have said. Oh god, if it gets worse, I'm never going to hear the end of it from you. something we should have mentioned when we set something we should have mentioned at the beginning is that Bungie having full control over Destiny and Activision being completely out of the picture, it's a good sign that Activision's gone, but it doesn't mean Destiny's gonna get better. It's just we're gonna have to we're gonna have to wait and see situation. I know for a fact, I think they said this, that they're not going to change anything with the annual pass. I think they're going to keep the roadmap they have the same, which I think it's on like their website, so you can see what comes in the expansions. But that doesn't mean that they could add more separately. But we're going to have to wait and see situation.
Honestly, I think that's a good thing, though, that they don't change it, because people already paid for it.
No, you're absolutely right. Like, I don't want them to change anything because I just bought it recently. If they're going to change it, add more, don't take any out. Because I feel like you're going to... People will be happy with that, because it's like, hey, you're not losing anything you pay for, and you're getting more on top of it, you know? Like, who would whine about more shit, you know? But, I don't think they're going to change anything with the annual pass. I hope... we honestly might not see changes till Destiny 3, because I don't really know if they're going to do any more after the annual pass. I know that they said they're not going to do any more big expansions like Forsaken.
Oh, they aren't?
That's what they said before, but that might change how the Activision's out of the picture, because we don't know. We honestly don't know.
Definitely for 2019, the game is set in stone, but 2020, it may not be as set.
Yeah. One thing I want to mention, and this is not... I just want to mention this. I don't really know if we need to go into it. But NetEase, which is like a huge Chinese company, I don't really know too much about it, but basically it was reported that NetEase invested $100 million into Bungie for them to work on a new IP.
Oh shit, that'd be awesome.
Damn.
Yeah. So not only do they have complete control over Destiny and their own publishing company now, but they don't really need to worry as much about money, because $100 million is a lot. They got enough to keep the lights on for a while. So, because that's one of the big things I was worried about, is that being your own publisher is tough. Like, that shit costs money. And like I said, making a video game these days costs more than it used to. Companies, back in the day, and I sound like an old man when I say that, you could just make a game, put it on the shelf, people will buy it, you make a profit. It's not like that anymore. That's why there's such a big emphasis on a season pass, on microtransactions, because they're not making enough just with one game, unfortunately. I will argue, though, against that, single-player games like God of War and Spider-Man sold extremely well. And they are amazing games. But like I said, people need to pay their bills and all that. So I definitely, like I said, I don't see them taking out... I don't see them just making a game and calling it a day, but there are still going to be some sort of like expansions or microtransactions. I just think I just hope they can do it the right way, because I would honestly prefer them to do how Monster Hunter World is doing it, with like free updates, here's a big expansion, more free updates, here's another big expansion. But yeah, that's just something I want to quickly mention. Getting off that, something I want to see Bungie add to Destiny, other than just how they sell the game. I want them to get add more to the game in terms of the game itself. Like, I something I still want since Destiny 2 was announced. I want a new enemy type. I want a new class. I want a new subclass. I also really want them to...
Thank God.
I honestly want them to get crazier with the guns, because when Forsaken came out, we got bows for the first time, and they're cool. There's not a lot, though, and I think there's only 3 exotic bows. And then recently we got machine guns back, but that was a weapon type from Destiny 1. And when Destiny 2 came out, we still got new ones. We got the grenade launchers, we got... No, I think grenade launchers was one... Was fusion rifles in Destiny 1?
Yeah.
Okay, not that. Well, we'll just say grenade launchers. We did get something of this. But I want them to get more creative with the guns. There was a rumor that we were going to get railguns, and that wasn't true. But railguns in Destiny would be fucking awesome. Now that they just have more control of the game, they're allowed to make the game they want. They're allowed to have their creative freedom, because they don't need to be like, hey, Activision, can we put this in the game? It's like, nope. No, they're allowed to put whatever they want. So I definitely want them to expand upon what they could put in the game,
Honestly, the idea, I'm going to add on what you said. So at least from what I heard, a lot of stuff would be a lot more delayed because they had to get approval for Activision for so many little things.
Yeah.
So the game's going to be probably more streamlined. So content's going to be you're probably going to get more content a lot quicker because they don't have to wait on Activision to say, yeah, this is okay.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good point. But like I said, my biggest concern is how are they going to sell the game. But along with that, I would like to see them do more. Because like I said, they have complete control. They're allowed to do what they want. So, Bungie, if the small chance you see this, just go nuts with it, man. Like, have fun. And, make the Destiny you want. I just really hope it can improve and not get worse. That's my biggest fear, because when Destiny 1 came out, it sucked. And then it got better over time. And then when Destiny 2 came out, it sucked again. It's like, why would you go backwards? Just,
Thank you, Dylan.
Yeah.
I need to hear that.
I know. I don't say this to get them shit. I say this because I know they can do better. I mean, let's be honest. They are the people that made the fucking best Halo games.
Yes.
Now, I also wanted
my God.
I also wanted to ask, was Activision in the picture when they made those? Or were they like...
They were with Microsoft.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Now, how on their throats were they compared to Activision? Like, not at all, or was it still kind of...
I think probably they were, because they did separate.
Yeah, I don't know the whole history there. That's why
I don't know how bad... I'll be honest, I don't know how bad it was. All I know is that I've heard of them popping champagne bottles whenever they realized...
When they left Activision, yeah. Yeah, that was a thing, apparently, that they were, like, so happy that to hear that they're not with Activision, that they literally popped champagne bottles.
It probably was worse. I have a feeling it probably was worse with...
Oh, definitely.
Activision.
It definitely was worse, but I feel like hopefully now that Activision has a picture, because I think Activision was with them when they announced Destiny 1.
They've been with Activision since 2010.
Which was, when Destiny 1 was rumored to be a thing, I believe. I could be wrong, so don't fact check me, but yeah, now that they're out of picture, I think we can hopefully go back to the glory days when Bungie was like a legend.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, that's gonna kind of wrap this up. I think we touched on everything we want to say. Like I said, this is an interesting podcast. I hope you guys enjoy this. If you did, leave a like on the video and let us know what your thoughts on the comments are. Are you excited for Destiny? Are you? What do you think? Where do you think they could go in the future? And be sure to subscribe for more, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Take a Break Gaming Podcast. Bye, guys.